listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast, a Texas Tech athletics podcast where food and sports clash at the goal line. Here are your hosts, Spencer and Michael.
All right, what is everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 23 Personnel Podcast. I'm your host, Spencer, joined by Michael. This is your post-game instant reaction to Texas Tech taking down the Cal Golden Bears. Michael, what's up, man?
Hey, we've got to just jump right into it's the season. 'Tis the season, so 12 days of Christmas. I would like to go back through before we go anywhere else. One of the most important and most wonderful stats of this entire game. 12 days of Christmas, the last 12 drives of the Cal Golden Bears. So before we get too far into this, hello, by the way. Punt, 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 half. Interception, punt. Downs, fumble. Interception, interception, punt.
Man, that's how you lose a game.
That's it. Those are the 12 days of Red Raider defense Christmas. It's beautiful. I don't need no partridge, no pear tree. Don't know nothing about that. But give me some more punts.
I was thinking about it during the game, and I was gonna come in here and talk about how great the second half defense was, or the second half for Texas Tech. Because we saw it like they Cal were able to move the ball early, and it's not a surprise. This kind of performance comes together, right? Like we've seen it happen most of the season. That your second half defense is much better than the first half, outside of probably Texas. Cal put up. You held them to only 140 total yards in the second half, including 0 rushing yards. Granted, you were up. Well, you were up by 10 to start the half. So it's. I mean, they were in a hole, so they couldn't really lean on their back. But speaking of their back, like we thought, Jaden Ott was going to come in here. It was going to be a battle between Ott and Brooks. You held Ott to 42 yards on 15 attempts, 2.8 yards per carry. Yikes.
Yeah, and I would like to point out, I mean, I'm sure we'll get into more stuff like this, but that tackle that Ben Roberts had on him on a 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4, whatever it was.
And blew him back. Yeah,
Oh,
kept him from getting the first down.
Just an open field. He had to time it and do everything just right. True freshman out there who's playing like a veteran. And speaking of just, okay, offense was fantastic. We'll get there. We'll get there. But
will we?
I think so. But who's this Washington guy? Came out of nowhere.
Amir Washington. Yeah, no, I was texting you in the game. He was like, Amir Washington, like, who is this? But he had himself a heck of a game. 4 total tackles, 4 solo, 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble.
Yeah.
Way to introduce yourself to the world, freshman Amir Washington. Good, great.
13
dude.
tackles for a loss for the defense. 3 interceptions, of course. 6 sacks on the day. This defense was just not playing around. Didn't allow a 3rd down until the second half.
A 3rd down conversion, you mean?
Yeah, a 3rd down conversion. Yep. Jeez.
Well, early on, Cal didn't need a 3rd down. They were moving the ball pretty well. But then, as DeRuyter does, make some adjustments, buckles things down. I mean, you gave up 14 points in the first quarter. Some of that, at least half of that, came on one play after you fumbled the opening kickoff, and they hit a play action on you on play number 1. Outside of that, Cal put together 2 drives on the night, their second touchdown, and then the drive that ended with an interception. They're deep in no. So you had a turnover on downs deep in your own territory where you held them, and then you had an interception. Otherwise, like it felt like you were slowing them down enough. You got them out of rhythm. You got them just enough pressure. Like I hate to say that, like you got pressure on them when you got 13 tackles for loss, but
Yeah, yeah.
you were disruptive enough. Let's put it that way, disruptive enough that you had a freshman quarterback make freshman mistakes. We've seen freshman quarterbacks sit back and have time and just be like, well, if you're not going to get any pressure on them, they're going to do whatever the heck they want to do. You were able to get to enough or get around Mendoza enough that he just made some really bad mistakes. Like that interception he threw to Rodriguez, the interception he threw to Baskerville. Those are things that are results of you making him uncomfortable all night. And that's not just like that. You can't just like, well, that's the only freshman that will play and blah blah blah. Like it's more likely to happen with a freshman, sure. But if you're getting pressure and making quarterbacks uncomfortable, they will all make a mistake like that. Now, how many they'll make is greatly depending on how old they are, um, but yeah, man, you got after Mendoza. It took a minute. I mean, he finished the night 22 of 33. Started off 7 of 7, but finished the night 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions.
Had the fumble. The fumble was his too.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Their top 3 receivers, which we and I guess they're 4, including the tight end. They threw the ball to 5 guys. That's it, which is strange. Like you talk about like Texas Tech, and they have like 8, 9 guys that will catch a pass. Their 5 receivers were the 4 that we talked about in the preview, and a running back.
mm-hmm.
And it was Young for 81, Hunter for 81, Grizel for 83, and their tight end for 23. Speaking of tight ends, Michael, I don't. Okay, this is where I'm going to kind of transition to the offense for a second. I don't know if this was a Morton was healthy or Kitley had not a month. He had a few extra weeks to tinker or whatever. But like you get this bowl game performance now 3 years in a row. It's like I guess Kitley doesn't forget how to call an offense.
I mean, okay, I can be as negative as the next guy. The main thing I can struggle with tonight though is, you know, he took good care of Morton. They did run an option once that I remember. Morton had at least one carry that I remember that kind of made me cringe, but I don't know if that was Kitley's idea or not. I do wish Taj Brooks hadn't have come back in. I liked that he, he got to 3,000 career yards tonight, got into the end zone, and it looked like it was going to be the Valdez show from there on out. Who knows? Maybe Valdez got kind of banged up, and Brooks had to come in after that third interception. But really, there were some routes across the middle. I mean, that interception that Morton threw, Aiken was wide open on a post.
Yeah.
Boyd, Morton hit Boyd on a beautiful pass in the middle, kind of a post, more of a drag. Not really quite sure. I can't remember exactly, but it was in the middle of the field and it was a big gain. Some great throws by Morton to Aiken. Aiken was his guy tonight. And then
7. Yep.
Tharp, I think, is where you were getting at. 6 targets tonight. I think he
Mm-hmm.
had 3 or 4 in the first half. One of Tharp's catches was just an incredible one-hander in traffic with people all around him. Get the big man the ball. I love seeing it. So, I went into this game. I was a little bit wary of the wide receiving core. Sure, people can claim how unproductive some of those guys are that either made the trip or didn't, but it was still going to be quite a bit different of a lineup from what's been fielded the entire year. Shout out to Fungi on his way out the door, getting a touchdown. But it's just, it was so uncertain that I really didn't have a good feel for it. He's so inconsistent, and by he I mean Kitley, on trying to get the ball to Tharp. But I felt like Tharp would be a really good, a good option to take and it seems like they
That
did take it.
touchdown up the seam was like, where's that been?
Yeah, that's almost, you can't defend that. I don't know how you
Dude's
can defend that
6'9".
unless you tackle the man before the ball gets to his hands.
Yeah.
He's a sure-handed guy. The announcers were talking about his 3x size gloves. They need to hold a football. That's what they're for. If you've got mitts that take 3x hands, but I mean, give him the ball. Let's do it.
Yeah. You mentioned Aiken, 7 catches, 106 yards, and a touchdown. Xavier White, loved having him in his story. 5 catches, 61 yards. Brooks, 5 catches, minus 3 yards.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get Brooks the ball, just hand it to him. Don't throw it to him.
Just here.
You're giving him like
here
you
you
set
go.
him up for failure every time you threw it to him. Brady Boyd, 3 catches, 37 yards. It's going back to what you were saying about the receiving core just looking different. I was really excited about the opportunity Jordan Brown was going to have to play, but unfortunately was held out with an injury. Which is why I think you saw Fungi play like he did, and then you had Brooks and not Brooks, Boyd and Aiken play outside as much as they did. Otherwise, we'd love to have Brown out there. I also would hoping that you would have seen like West and Valson. You had heard about their progress. Young receivers getting ready to make a name for themselves in the offense. Did love seeing multiple tight ends on the field at the same time. Saw a lot of Cup and Tharp together. Even saw Teeter a little bit.
Yeah, that I think that got us a illegal shift once, having a couple of tight ends.
Well, one of that
around
was
a little bit too much.
The center Dennis Wilburn snapping it a little early. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That was it 3rd or 4th and 1 where they ran the quarterback sneak and they just like pushed the entire line.
Was that after
the ring around the
ring
Rosie
around the
to
Rosie
begin?
thing? Yeah.
It's so stupid. Like, I get running up to the line, do that. But what are we doing, like holding hands and skipping this? Just get up to the line and snap the ball.
Speaking of kind of just the trick plays and stuff, so Morton should have caught that touchdown pass, right?
He's interfered with 100%.
You think so? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I just feel like that was a little bit of taste of, hey, it's not that easy, is it?
I mean, it wasn't like a great throw. Like it was like
He probably
floated to
shouldn't have
him.
thrown it. I mean,
No, he was well covered.
it was pretty risky.
But yeah, the defensive back or whoever it was, like he was holding his arm down pretty good. And I'm okay with like having trick plays out there for bowl games. Like it's supposed to be fun. It's an exhibition game, essentially. I mean, yeah, we'll count 7 wins this season. It's a 7-win season. But I mean, the flea flicker's back or not back. It's we've used it quite a bit this year.
Yeah,
that was another bad execution on that one. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to go with that. I guess just all around, the receivers, I thought we were going to get a little bit more youth on defense. I loved all the youth that you saw and what they were able to bring, especially on the defensive line. I mean, Washington, Banks, Esther's, Ledette's not young, but Adedire, it's just fantastic. I'm excited about the front line. Excited that Rodriguez is coming back. Excited that Roberts. I mean, as a freshman, just unbelievable the type of year he's had. Salute, hats off to Dunlap, to Dadrian Taylor Dimerson, to Tyler Owens. The seniors there in the defensive backfield. Tony Bradford. You didn't see him tonight, but Jalen Hutchings.
Yeah.
But But it's fun to win, man. Yeah, that like we could sit here and gripe about specific things and like Morton throwing the interception. Like, what are you doing? You look, Aiken was open on the other side of the field,
Yeah,
or
it's what it
it didn't
is.
come down to one play.
No.
It's fun to win. You imposed your will, especially in the second half. You didn't let their star player be the star player in Ott. You put Mendoza in a bad spot. All game, but really like as you continue to stretch the lead out there, you're forcing their hand, and so you took advantage of that, which is fine. Much better to win a bowl game than to lose a bowl game. Texas Tech is the first team in the big major Texas universities to win 3 in a row since like 2018. Was a
Oh, wow.
last of 3. I think it was for Texas.
I think I heard on
And
the
I know-
broadcast that the last time Tech won 3 in a row was the last time they beat Cal.
Yeah, because I was thinking about like when I was a student, we won the Gator Bowl, which was after the
It's
07
after
season,
that. Yeah.
but then you lost the Cotton Bowl the next year. It was, I think it was even Thetford and Ashby was talking about the coming into like the Mike Leach era. Like you talk about how many bowl games you went to, under Leach, but like at that point, like your record in bowl games was something like 5-23 or something ridiculous. It was way in the wrong direction. Like you made a lot of bowl games, but you weren't winning a lot of bowl games. So
Yeah, this is only the second time in Texas Tech's history that they've won 3 in a row.
So does that mean we're going to playoffs next year?
Or we're going to lose the Cotton Bowl.
Is that one of the playoff games next year? I don't remember.
I don't know, but that was what happened after we did it last time. So yeah, it was
This is not no. This is
02 Tech won the
This is-
Tangerine Bowl.
This is the third time that Tech has won at least 3 in a row.
Oh, you're right, but they weren't consecutive years.
Okay, well, no. 10, 11, 12, 13. You won all those. The Alamo Bowl, the Ticket City Bowl, Meineke Car Care Bowl.
You didn't go to a bowl in 11. You were 5-7.
Well, it says 2011 Ticket City Bowl.
It was played
In 2011?
2011. Yes.
But it came after the 2010
was
season
on-
because the 2010 Alamo Bowl was after the 2009 season.
yeah, it was
Okay,
New Year's
that's what it was.
Day.
Okay, you're right. I got caught up. Look at the dates, the names of these bowl games: 10, 11, 12, 13.
You're right though, but yeah, if
Calendar years.
the 2011 season, Tech went 5-7 under Tuberville, but yeah, Alamo, Ticket City, Texas, and Holiday, those 4 bowl games were won in a row, but not consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we're arguing semantics. I went into this, I looked this up just to kind of make myself feel even better. So this will be the 3rd season in a row Tech's won a bowl game, obviously. We've gone over that. Also, the 3rd season in a row that Texas Tech has a winning record, which they couldn't say for 6 of the 7 previous seasons, and also the 5 consecutive seasons leading into these last 3. So let's not take this for granted that Tech's going to be able to, they're kind of pulling out, hopefully, of that really rough decade plus of football that we've all had to endure. But yeah, 7-6, 8-5, and now 7-6 again.
The lengthy stretch where you didn't make a bowl game, 2018, 19, 20, and 20. No, yeah.
Yeah, you made one in 21.
But I mean, you went 2017 to 2021. That was a rough stretch for
It's a little
a team
bit.
that was used to going through a bunch of bowl games. You had a 3-year break. Like, man.
Well, yeah, you
Um,
lose to USF in the Birmingham Bowl.
Thanks, Kingsbury.
Oof.
Kingsbury is a cool 1-2 in bowl games for Texas Tech as a
Yeah,
head coach.
correct. You've got to point that out.
Well, because he played. He played
No, I
at
know. It's legit. You got to point it out.
I couldn't even tell you which of these years was his.
Oh, when he won?
Yeah, was it 2000 or did he not start till 2001? Anyways, the
No, he was starting under Spike, I think. So I think he started with Leach right away.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, you won. Now you've been to 3 bowl games in a row. You've won 3 bowl games in a row. The offense next season is going to be interesting, and just in terms of the personnel you're going to have on the field. We'll talk about it in the full episode this week. But you had a very successful portal week,
Yeah.
especially offensively, getting those offensive linemen. You got 2 big wide receivers, and big isn't like production wise, guys. You got another defensive back with some elite measurables, which we'll talk about. So looking forward to how it all comes together next fall. But right now, you end this season on a victory. You make a bowl game, you win the bowl game, 3 in a row now.
And look really good doing it.
Yeah, I know you whipped the snot out of Ole Miss last year, 42-25. You had a very similar performance, 34-14, another 20-point win under Joey McGuire here in year 2. I mean, your 3 bowl victories the past week. So the Liberty Bowl versus Mississippi State, 34-7. Just beat the snot out of them. Ole Miss was a fun game because it was chippy and it was like almost never really in question. And then tonight, like you had to come back from that early deficit with the turnover, and then when Cal went up 14-7. But then you put up, I can do math, 27 unanswered. So fun to win games. Texas Tech also, men's basketball in Fort Worth, also won the night pretty big over Vanderbilt. We'll talk about that on Tuesday as well. Just a good night for Texas Tech athletics.
It was a lot better than the last time. Of course, Tech basketball won the day that Texas handed Texas Tech their jockstrap, but now it's always better when both teams win if they play on the same day.
The other thing I wanted to point out, just overall stat categories, you held Cal to 69 rushing yards. Nice. First downs, you outperformed them 24-15. You held them 4-14 on third down. You were 9 of 18. They were 0 for 2 on fourth down. You were 2 for 2. You held them to their, what was it? Average distance to go on third down, Michael. Any guesses for Cal?
Oh no, I didn't look at this.
10.1 yards.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So many
third down.
I wrote down, especially in the second half, they would hand it off to Ott for the first play of the drive. And I don't know, at least 3 times it was a TFL or he was tackled at the line of scrimmage. And they're already, okay, it's 2nd and 10. It's 2nd and 11. And then, yeah, that does not surprise me much, but I hadn't looked at that.
Yeah. You were also really good defending third and shorts tonight. Of 3rd and 1 to 4 yards, Cal was over 2.
Well, Cal was also just 1 for 2 in the red zone, and I think that was after the muffed opening kickoff.
I thought that was out of the red zone. I thought that was a little long.
Let me see.
Because didn't it take over like 25 or something?
Let's see. They got it. TTU. Oh, that's not helpful. Okay, go ahead. You had some other stats you wanted to say.
What was I looking at? I think that's all I needed to I wanted to point out. Um, a
Oh,
lot of
you're right. It was a 25-yard reception. So yeah, it was at the 25.
feast or famine for your defense on first down. Cal picked up 211 of their 360 something yards on first down. But average first down gain was 7.3, but also average third down distance to go is 10.1. So you were recovering from that really quickly. Or just let me say, all of their big explosive plays came on first down. It seems. You didn't really have like you had a couple of big plays, but what you saw tonight was more of a sustained success throughout the night rather than you hitting a couple of big plays. Um, Either way, I don't really have a whole lot else to say besides it's good to win a game, man.
Yeah, and to win it in
You
this
look good
fashion,
doing it.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
to really to get kind of kicked in the mouth to start, and know that Cal's going to get the ball in the first, at the start of the second half, and
Which
to
could have
take
been
it to
just a
him.
huge swing, right? Like when
Yes.
when you take the opening kickoff, one, like, okay, so you're going to start the first half with the ball. But then for it to be like you never get the ball immediately, Cal gets the ball and they score in the first possession, and then think they're going to get the ball to start the second half too. So you did a good job there at the end of the first half, I think, on your time management to have the last possession, to not let Cal kind of stack a bunch of possessions there, which really could have helped uh, propel them back into the game, even though they were only down at 10 at half. But had Cal scored at the end of the first half, that would have put them within at least one score, and then they would have started the second half with the ball, where they could have tied or taken the lead. But like I said, you took care of that time block there, where you ran out as much clock, and then you kicked that field goal. Garcia, I felt bad. It was a completely broadcaster's jinx. They're talking about he was perfect on the season from this distance, and then he kicked it like over the upright. Like,
Yeah,
all right,
he's been solid.
no, he was
He's
great.
been excellent all year. That's just
And they came back and showed that he was awarded a scholarship in the
yeah.
prep leading up to the game, which was cool. He and Jordan Brown, um, which you forget that he was just been a walk on this whole time since his transfer in. Um, Anyways, besides the opening kick muff there, like special teams was good tonight. You had to punt, unfortunately, 5 times, and McNamara did his job every time. There was one touchback where he just got a little extra into it. But then like a punt or two later, like he pinned him inside the
Oh,
5, which was just beautiful.
yeah. And then I think Xavier White had a really great punt return that
Mm-hmm.
the offense was able to they handed it to Taj twice, and they got in the end zone because of that
Yep.
excellent punt return. And Cal's punter, not that great,
No.
not very good. At least
So
not tonight. Sorry, I don't want to
yeah,
just
well, you
paint with
forced
a
him to
broad
punt a
brush.
bunch.
It's a very narrow. I've only seen the man play once.
Well, I say that he punted 6 times. McNamara punted 5 times. But Cal's punter averaged 35.8 yards per punt. McNamara averaged 44.6.
Cal's punter never got one inside the 20.
Or kicked one of 50 yards or more, where McNamara had 4 inside the 20 and 1 of 50 yards or more.
I love that I've got you talking about punts. Just your favorite thing.
Punts suck. Let's be honest, dude. If we could never punt next year, and I know that we just got Jack Burgess transferring in, if we could never punt,
Yeah, we sung his praises the whole last podcast. 47 yards per game.
yeah,
Per
we
game.
just don't need
Per
him.
punt.
We just don't want him to have to punt. That's all.
Mm.
Anything
I
else,
love a
Michael?
good punt. No, I don't know. I'm just kind of giddy. It feels good to end the season like this.
It's
I
late.
didn't I didn't think yeah, that too. I really didn't think Tech would even necessarily cover. I just had so many doubts about the offense, and Cal's offense looked pretty good. And shame on me for doubting Tech's offense and not thinking that Tech's defense was going to be able to absolutely shut these guys down for 3 full quarters.
Yeah, I
So,
would have loved more
good
points
job.
in the second half.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had a 10-point lead at the halftime. You added 10 more in the second half.
Well, and you could
the
tell
Cal,
they kind of pulled the brakes in the fourth quarter. Valdez came in. I know Cup came in. I think Morton was obviously still in, but it seems like they were just kind of, okay, this is an exhibition game. Let's just get everybody back on the bus in one piece.
Yeah.
And then they put Brooks in late and I'm still not crazy about that.
really quickly, when you said get back on the bus, it made me think that last first down conversion where Valdez got stood up at the line, like it was like a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and we ran it, and like there's no way he made the first down. They came in and marked a first down, and then game clock expired.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Move
they
the ready to go too.
Move.
So that brings us into the end of the football season. 257 days until kickoff versus Abilene Christian, your favorite non-Texas Tech university out there.
Yes.
Chase wants to break down the game right now. If Maverick McIver's still there, it could be cool. And then the rematch with Patterson. Why am I blanking on his name? Is it Keith Patterson?
I liked Patterson.
Yeah, he was a pretty good defensive coordinator.
I really think he helped kind of shift things to this point. I do.
He's no DeRuyter, but
agree. DeRuyter's been fantastic.
Let's make sure that man gets paid this offseason, okay?
Yeah, I need to redo the Texas game ate into that points per game, but tonight helped a lot. So maybe it got back down below 25 again.
Yeah. When should we start drinking the Kool-Aid, Michael?
Oh, okay. I'm not. I've written notes to myself, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
I've written notes to self. I have this notes document while I'm watching the games, and a lot of times it's just all jumbled garbage. But when I write stuff down, I can remember it better. But in between all these games, I wrote 2 long paragraphs. One of them I wrote after the Texas game. One of them I wrote yesterday. Just kind of, and I'll probably write another one tonight. Just basically telling August Michael not to drink the Kool-Aid.
This is how you felt in November and December, and let's not forget this.
Yeah, let's remember. Okay, hey, they played really great tonight, and then I'll have to come up with some stuff because they really did play great tonight.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it for us tonight on the 23 Personnel. This morning, 23 Personnel podcast. It is after midnight, 12:38. Creeping into the Gauchos After Dark realm here. Texas Tech takes down Cal 34-14 for the final game of the 2023 season. Get you to 7-6, setting you up nicely for the run in 2024. For Michael, Spencer, we'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast. Help us out by subscribing, rating the show, and leaving a review. Follow us on Twitter at 23 Personnel, Spencer at Punt Suck, and Michael at Michael_LBK. Be sure to catch the next episode. And until then, guns up and let the tortillas fly.